For those of you that are unfamiliar, I'm trying to essentially start up. And before I even get to that point, there's lots of other phases or stages that I'm going through. And my journey is most, I guess, similar to the people that are building in public, like Peter Levels, Mark, Lou, and some other people. So anyways, that's for people that are new to this. Now, today's going to be more of a status update because it's been a while, a few days, but I'm sort of in a transitional phase. I'm still trying to figure out how I exactly want to share this information. I can record myself for 2 hours, but I mean, I don't know if that's as useful. And if I'm not able to focus completely because I'm too worried about sharing stuff that I like, API keys, or I don't know, like if I get text messages or my emails, I don't want those things to just slip out there in public. So anyways, I'm thinking about it. And so the update today is basically, here are a set of, I think my voice cracked. Here are a set of problems that are going on in my life. And I don't mean that to say as in like, it's a problem, it's something to be worried about, I should be stressed. It's more in the sense of, there's a problem, let's find a solution, let's address it. And so my problems, in not in any particular order, but first problem I have that's sort of coming up to the surface more and more is, now as I'm sort of committed to starting up and knowing that I'm gonna leave my PhD, I'm not, because recently I've been thinking, suppose I'm leaving my PhD, but let's say I continue to TA in the fall. I know that TAing only takes like less than 20 hours a week, and research, so in total it would be about 30 hours a week. Now, I could do that. Well, so that's an option because it gives me more time to continue to develop my startups I'm working on, what apps and what web services I have, continue to develop my skills. It gives me more time to work on those things and not worry about where rent is coming in. Or I can try to freelance, or I can get a job in industry. Now, where this was going was that it's been slipping into my mind. What if I go back in fall and continue my PhD for another 3 months? But then another part of me is, well, that's not committing. That's in a sense, just not being 100% committed to what I'm doing. And so now I've been deciding, okay, I am going to drop out, and it's going to be in spring. I don't want to prolong it. I need to move on to the next phase in my life, which is committing to this. And so my brain is just going through all the different ways in which we can make this happen. But anyways, that's been a bit of a rant. It goes back to, or I guess looping around to this, I have ideas. And now that I'm being committed to it, knowing I am going to drop out, I'm inviting any ideas that come to mind, and lots of ideas are coming to my mind as I'm preparing on this journey, improving my health. Ideas have come to my mind that I think would be useful for a lot of people. And the thing is that I don't necessarily have the skills to execute it as I would want to. Now, I know there's a idea that just start and build it. Now, the thing is, I'm building in public. So if I do build it, either I don't build it in public, or I have the skills to ship it quicker than any of you watching, and then I feel comfortable building it in public. So there's a trade-off, and the reason I like to build it in public is just it increases the exposure, it increases the audience, it increases, it's almost like free marketing. So I do want to build in public, but I don't have the skills. So I'm unprepared for an opportunity. And the skills that I don't have yet are web development and Android app development. The apps I want to build, I can build them just for iOS, but I think Android is used more so in a lot of the world. And I know enough Spanish. I have family members who know Spanish who can help me translate it. So I can already target like 50% of the world knowing Spanish and English using iOS and Android app development. And all my apps, at least my initial apps, are going to be free. They're going to have like ads, and then I'm also going to have like a $1-2 a month subscription. So I know building the skills such as web development, Android app development, and refining my iOS app development, if I can get to the point where I know those really well, which doesn't take too long. For me, learning iOS app development took like 2 months at the most because I was busy with research and TAing and other stuff. And so I know during the summer when I don't have any commitments, I can easily pick up on a skill within a month. And so I'm planning to learn. Okay, so I'll talk about then the solution, but I am planning to learn web development and then eventually Android app development, refine them over the summer. I am going to be building while I'm doing this, but I'll be building like little dumb apps that I can share because I'm not worried that people are going to steal it. And then once I do refine my skills, and I feel like I can outwork any of you, I can outship any of you, I am going to build it. Build it in public. I could build in private, but I mean, that kind of defeats the purpose of my whole building in public march to startup. So we'll see. We'll see how I approach it. So that's one thing. And another thing I guess to consider is I'm not too worried that people are going to find these opportunities because they're very specific. You have to think like me. You have to sort of identify the opportunities like me. So I've had an idea in my mind that could probably kill. Depends on the execution, but I have an idea that could probably kill like the meetup or I forgot what it was called. It was called like Meet something, where it's like the popular one that was popping a few years ago or many years ago, and they kind of died slowly. It's still around, but it's dying. I had an idea in high school that I just never had the time didn't have the skills, and no one has like executed the idea I have in mind to the level that I have in mind. So I'm not too worried about people stealing ideas I have because it'd be hard to find, and I just don't see people shipping in these areas as quickly or as well as I know I could once I develop my skills. Now the next thing is I'm kind of in a bad position. I'm broke. I have money for the things I need to build initially, but I'm broke in the sense that in the long term this isn't financially sustainable, and then I'm also in debt, in student debt. So that's the kind of debt that even if I apply for bankruptcy, I can't get out of it. So that's not a very good position to be in. I got all this debt actually while being in my master's degree, which upon reflection, I don't know if a master's degree was the best path, but I was stubborn. My teachers did encourage me to TA, but I didn't want to because I was dedicated to the research I was working on and thought that I would spin that off. So since I'm broke, I can't hire freelancers, which goes back to I can't ship these ideas right now and see if those take off because I don't have the skills. Can't hire freelancers either. So this isn't good. 86,000 in student debt. If I'm going to take risks, I can't, it's not good to take a risk and then have it not go off and then default on a loan. That's not a good position to be in. It affects my credit score, which would then affect future business opportunities. So yeah, that's something top priority to work off. And then the next point that has come to mind, or that I've been thinking about, is how do I want to share this information? I can record myself for 2 hours, and there's lots of different aspects to March to Startup that I'm working on. As you know from the timeline, I still need to close off like how to maintain my system, like overall project life management system. What security do I have in place? How do I previously was productivity project system as well. And in my March to Startup, I'm registering a business, figuring out the legal tax stuff behind it. I'm also building a portfolio for freelancing, building apps that I want to ship, which also count for the portfolio. Starting up, so what references am I going to use, understanding the process a little bit more, what ideas do I want to explore. And then in addition to all that, there's the important stuff like I need to figure out my finances. I need to make sure that I'm healthy, that I'm going to live long enough to have longevity to outwork my competitors. So how can I do that in a way that's sustainable? And in this is all very useful information just for people in general. So this is another thing that I want to share. So there's lots of different aspects to March to Startup, and there's lots of 2-hour videos that no one can watch. Like I know I wouldn't even watch every 2-hour video. It's just difficult. So I know there's a better way to share this information, and I'll discuss it, but preview, I'm probably going to make a website where I summarize all the information, share my timeline, share steps I'm taking on that website, make it easy to go through, easy to understand. You don't have to watch 2-hour videos. And then the last thing, this has sort of plagued me for 7 years. I have really high blood pressure. It's getting better because I'm slowly but surely making a plan to address it. But as you can see here, for the past month, my average blood pressure was 130/84. I think that's hypertension 1 or stage 1 hypertension. But I mean, during the week prior, my average was 140/87, which is like stage 2. So it's pretty high. And I'm pretty sure it's a result of my bad nutrition. So first of all, I haven't eaten at a consistent time. I sort of just eat whenever, and I just eat whatever is in my food pantry, like whatever is easiest to make. Sometimes I have a little bit more time to be thoughtful of what to eat, but I haven't really counted calories, haven't made sure I've been meeting my the nutrition that my body needs. As for fitness, I basically sit around most of the day. During high school, I did run for like a whole summer, 3 miles a day, but that was just for like one summer. And then at the start of college, did boxing for like a 1.5 years. So I guess you could count that as fitness. Oh yeah, that counts as fitness. And then last summer, I was running for like 2 months, but it hasn't really been consistent. And regardless of that, I've been sedentary. I sit at my desk for basically the entire day. As for sleep, basically sleep when the job is done, wake up whenever my body wakes up. And yeah, it hasn't been very good. I would say my average sleep is around 6 hours, even though I'm in bed for like 9. I'm not on my phone. It's just I don't know. It's been a weird schedule considering how inconsistent I've been, it's I guess it's not unexpected. And in general, stress. Now, I wouldn't say this is like debilitating stress where I just can't focus. It's more like the stress that I push down, that I'm able to work, but it's just stress that I ignore and is actually not good. So these are all sort of problems that I'm taking account of and figuring out how to sort of optimize in my approach and make a strategy to address all of them, because these seem to be, like, for me, the biggest problems that I need to address. Now, this isn't in order either, but the first thing that I'm actually working, this is in order. This first one is the one I'm actually working on, and I need to refine and be disciplined in my daily schedule. So I have an exact time that I go to sleep every day. I have an exact time that I eat. I have everything that I do in the day. As work is flexible, I adjust it based on what I need to work on, but everything else, from eating, sleeping, meditation, putting phones away at a certain hour, so all those things I am following down to like 5 minutes every day. Eating the exact same thing every day, meal planning or meal prepping on the weekend. So just automating it and optimizing it. Now, the second thing I'm doing as part of that also is being more fit, following a disciplined routine, having a goal. Because anyone can just start walking, but it's easier when you have a goal. It makes it a lot more fun. It makes it more enjoyable, and it feels more rewarding when you have a goal that you aimed for and achieved. And so for me, this is basically how I'm breaking that into a goal. From now until June, I have like a schedule to run a half marathon at a 7:30 pace. So for that, I'm just using my Garmin. If you're not familiar, Garmin's a very solid fitness tracking watch. I would suggest, if it's expensive, buy a refurbished one. I bought mine used. It was like $500 after tax. It was $600, closer to $600, but a lot cheaper than buying like $1,100 watch new. But yeah, it comes with like a free coach, which is cool. GPS. I would look into Garmin if you are new to fitness watches and stuff like that. So anyways, it has like a coach. Well, not an official coach. He's kind of like a automated robot coach, but I think it's a real dude. But anyways, it basically gives me like a plan every week. I'm running 5 days a week, I believe. Every week I'm running about 5 to 10 miles every day. I mean, on the days that I am running. And then after I finish that in June, I am going to run a half marathon, see how close I am to my goal. And then after that, my aim is a marathon in September around the same pace. So let's see. Daily schedule to address my nutrition, having like a 1 or 3 specific meals that I eat every single day for the next month. After that, I'll probably add more variety, but for now it's just I need to be disciplined. Fitness, I'm addressing with this. I will share more about this as I work on my website, but for now, I am busy learning how to make websites and web development. So when I say web dev, I mean front end, back end, full stack. So let's see. Sleep, just falling asleep at the same time every day, and being disciplined about that. So I need to follow my schedule. Probably I'm going to start following it this week. Just bought all the food that I will meal prep tomorrow. Should have done that like during the weekend, but I didn't have time. And then stress, I have like a meditation I do every morning, and we'll see how that helps me. So now that I have sort of like a daily schedule, the next point is now that I have a daily schedule that I'm following, I can be more consistent in what hours I'm allocating to what efforts, what tasks I'm working on. And whatever hours I have left after TAing, after research for a PhD, that's going to be spent half and half on learning and building. So learning is learning full stack, learning how to make a website, learning the back-end stuff, payment processing, authentication, all that good stuff. So I want to do that so I can share everything I'm learning here, my March to Startup, and all the other efforts that I'm working on. So the fitness, the health in general is my march to optimal health. I haven't started a YouTube series because I want to make a website and share that information, and then I guess market that. So going to be doing this. Aim is to finish sort of like a course or a boot camp by April, and then also refresh my iOS development skills. So that's learning. And then building, I'm going to be working on the website. It's going to be Francisco Monroy XYZ, and then I also have another website for my I should think about that. No, yeah, I'm going to have two websites, one for my company, one for me. The one for me, I'll think about it later. One of them is going to have like all my efforts. So I think the one for me, yeah, I don't know. I'll think about it. I don't know if I should put everything under my company's website, or if I should put my March to Startup, March to Optimal Health on my website, and then just put apps, web services, landing pages on my company's website. I don't know. We'll think about it. So yeah, building my website, building my company's website, building an iOS app portfolio, shipping them. As I said, I'm going to start with little dumb apps that I feel okay sharing because they're low stakes for me. They're might be original ideas, but they're not super important for me. And then also managing my LLC. There's lots of things I need to learn, tax and legal wise. For example, if I want to hire a freelance developer, how do I even approach that? And I'm pretty sure I should be bookkeeping stuff. I think I need like a business bank account. And so those are the things I haven't looked into that I need to spend some time researching, make sure that I follow that. And as I mentioned, I'm going to be learning web development with a goal to finish learning like the main courses by April. And so that just means that the bulk of my learning will be finished by April, and then after that, it's just going to be shipping. Well, I'm also going to learn Android app development, so not necessarily just right to shipping, but I'm going to be more so shipping in web development starting in April. And the goal for web development is to make my March to Startup easier to follow, as well as all the other projects I'm working on, and make a website that I can share my portfolio. So that's going to help me land some jobs. Another thing I'm considering to make my March to Startup easier to follow, and just to bring some more discussion around these different areas that I'm working in and working on, having a Reddit community. Now that's something that I'm not sure about. And right now I don't think there's necessarily enough people to get feedback from on this. So this might just be in the background until we have enough people that want to discuss this a little bit more. Yeah, so actually let's move that down. And then another goal, now until May, build 1 to 5 apps. One app is just going to be like a low stakes app. And then towards May, when I sort of refine my skills, know how to make a landing page, a website, then make the useful app that I have in mind. If it blows up, that'd be great. Then I don't even have to get a job anywhere. But we'll see. So these are just the 2 apps I have in mind. There might be a few others to add to my portfolio, and also that I'll be shipping. And depending on how the chips fall, if nothing's sort of picking up for me, then preparing for like a industry job. So finding somewhere where I can work on web development or iOS development, or maybe even Android app development, so I can continue to learn the skills that are useful for starting up, but also get paid well for it. And it'll probably be at a place that has a good work-life balance, where I'm working like 40 hours a week. Then I can spend 40 hours of the rest of my week working on starting up, and work at that job for like 18 months, pay off all my student debt. And then at that point, I'll be a lot more comfortable taking a lot more risk with my MarchToStartup. Right now, student loans, as I mentioned, that's personal debt that you can't get out of through bankruptcy. MarchToStartup, if my LLC goes under, that's not so much of a issue. I mean, they're still trying to make amends and do the best I can, but it's not crushing. It's not, how do you say? I'm not too worried about it. And then I can also, I also have more freedom. I can go to accelerators, I can go to incubators, and not be worried about how am I going to meet next month's loan payment. So I think that'll really set me free and help me move forward. Get my PhD, my academic history in the past. Let's see. Yeah, and so how this affects my current plan. So I'm still gonna build a portfolio, but right now I'm learning web development. So it might push this back, but just because I added something before it. And decide on first idea. Yes, I do have an idea on what to build. It'll be just kind of like a dumb little app. So I'm not sure that I'll think about the marketing. I might use it. So it'll be a dumb little app, but I think I'll use it to, what do you say, pipe clean, to streamline my execution strategy. Yeah. So what channels am I marketing through? How am I reaching customers? Am I using ads? So yeah, that'll be a fun little exercise with an actual app that I'm publishing on the App Store. Freelancing. I'm not so sure about freelancing anymore. Freelancing for me originally was like, it felt like a good idea. But if I'm having to submit tens, hundreds of, of contracts or proposals, and it takes a bit of time to pick up momentum, I don't have that freedom, because I have to pay my loan payments would be around $800 a month. Like, that's a lot. And then considering I have to pay rent, not necessarily the best strategy. And on top of that, I'm also going to add, my wife and I talked, and we're deciding to move into her parents at least for the summer. We'll see if it goes a little bit longer. So considering that, I don't know if I'll rethink freelancing if we stay there a little bit longer. Yeah, right now it's up in the air. Right now, what I'm really focused on and really taking to heart is just learning. I want to get my legs out under me, learn how to make websites, learn how to make or refine my skills for iOS apps, and learn how to make Android apps. Once I do that, I can take a hold of any opportunity that comes my direction and run with it. And so that's what I'm really focused on, because with that, I can either ship, I can freelance, I can work in industry. So the world will be in my hands. So this, I'm probably going to push back and then push learning in front of it. So that pushes freelancing back. I'm still going to do this, so I'm still going to look for books, still going to make my list. This should have been done already. So it's not like it's going to be long term. It's something I can probably finish this week. This week I also focused a lot on organizing files, organizing links, close to finish. So I should be able to finish this weekend on these two, finalize a list. But again, I need a website to be able to share all this information. Still need to think about this. This would actually probably be pushed till next week, considering my other focuses, which is, again, web development, and building my first app. And then for all of this, I am doing this for myself, but the thing is I haven't shared it yet. And I'm waiting until I learn how to make apps, learn how to refresh my skills on iOS app development to start in this direction. This is just waiting on the website. I do have ideas here for iOS app development, but this is just waiting for the website. And then this is something that I'm actively thinking about, not proactively, but I do let these topics simmer in my mind. And then this is something I need to bring a little bit more to the forefront and have like a good idea of the immediate important stuff, and then have like a plan for what's important in the future. So a lot of changes I need to make to my roadmap, and these changes basically happened in the past few days, so it's really recent. But I'll make these changes maybe this week, and we'll see, because I'm probably be updating my website either this week or next week. I'm going to be updating my website as I learn about web development. So that's a little bit of an update on my progress, what I've been doing. If there's any questions, anything anyone's curious about, let me know in the comments. Subscribe. This is going to be a long journey. It's not going to be a simple one. Going to be a little bit complicated. We're going here, going there. I think my main priority, just to reemphasize, is first refining my daily schedule to automate and optimize my health. Health being nutrition, fitness, sleep, and stress. And then learning. So learning how to make learning full stack. So that includes like the front end on websites, the back end, payment processing, authentication, all that good stuff. That's web development. Refreshing my iOS app development, and then starting to build a few apps. And then in the near future, learning how to make Android apps. And my timeline for web development is April. By May I should have a few iOS apps, and then probably in May, June, learn how to make Android apps, and then by September just really hone in on a building shipping schedule. I know it seems a little bit prolonged, but I would rather have like a super solid foundation where I have any idea that comes to mind, I can build and ship it within like a month. And yeah, just having really tight gears that are always working. Yeah, because I mean, what's going to stop me? I'm going to have perfect health, or close to perfect health, just automated health. And I know like 80% of the most important things for iOS app web. So I could just be spinning out apps and shipping for as long as I want, which is going to be forever. Well, I say forever, but I mean more so in the sense I'm going to be in entrepreneurship. I'm going to be in entrepreneurship. I'm going to be in business for my entire life. So it's more of a technical founder. So that for me, that's how it starts, building passive income. So whatever. See y'all some other time.